So you're wondering if you or someone you know is a psychic. What may be some of the indicators in the natal chart that will tell you that? This video is for you. Hi beautiful souls, it's Tan back here again today on this Astrology, Human Design and Gene Keys channel. And today we're going to be looking at the top 3 placements that can indicate that someone is a psychic. So before we get started, don't forget to head over to my new and renovated website where you can meet your team of beautiful, amazing, and highly qualified astrologers there who will be doing birth chart readings for you guys, guiding you on your self-discovery journeys, as well as coming along on this YouTube channel to share some of their knowledge of astrology here with you. And if you're watching this in April, we currently have a spring and Easter sale for birth chart readings. So head over to my website and grab one for yourself now before it's over. And don't forget to also head over to my art YouTube channel where I do paintings and drawing videos there, but I haven't done video in a while, but I will be getting back to it. So if you like what you see there, hit the subscribe button and like the videos. So when I talk about being a psychic in this video, this is different from a video that I made earlier about being a spiritual teacher, right? That video was more towards spirituality. This video is more towards psychic. So what I mean by psychic here is, to me, what I would define as having some kind of psychic experiences is when you just kind of know, have an inner feeling or a knowing or a brush of intuition or a brush of knowing with something that is beyond the knowable in this realm, in this 3D realm, we can say. That's what I would term as psychic. So naturally, when we're looking at psychics, we would be looking at a chart which would have some highly sensitive types of placements there, because that tends to be what leads to somebody being open to the psychic world, is that high level of sensitivity. The number one placement that you can look for to see if you or somebody else that you know have the traits of being a psychic, this is when someone has Jupiter and Neptune in an inconjunct or in a semi-sextile to each other. But when someone has Jupiter and Neptune inconjunct to each other, this is a sign of a supreme psychic, but also a sign of somebody who has trouble with listening to their intuition and with getting in touch with some of those psychic potentials, because the shadow energy of Jupiter and Neptune being inconjunct or semi-sextile is a fear of judgment. So we can have here somebody who's very psychic and just kind of knows things, but it's like, maybe I shouldn't say it. Or maybe it's wrong. So the moment that you have thoughts like maybe it's the moment you lose touch with that psychicness, we can say. And that's the, we can also say it's sort of like the lack of trust or lack of faith when Jupiter is being distorted by Neptune in a way. But yeah, this is one of the signs of somebody who can be very, very psychic. Now, the next indicator of somebody who's got some psychic abilities within their natal chart, this is when someone has Neptune in a conjunction, or maybe an opposition or a square, but it's a really close orb, to their part of fortune. So the part of fortune is, it's going to be like a round circle in your natal chart with a cross in the middle. It's when you take your sun, your moon, your rising, and you combine it together to form a point and a sign and a house of great potential within you. That's the part of fortune. When Neptune is conjunct, opposite square, close orb, keep it within like 3 degrees maximum for part of fortune and Neptune. So when you have that within your natal chart, it is showing somebody who was born with a natural gift of the occult, and sometimes it's the occult, but most of the time it's just psychicness, because Neptune is one of the most sensitive planets you can have there. And when Neptune is conjunct to your part of fortune, it's almost like your sensitivity is a gift, But at the same time, your sun, moon, and rising together, the core parts of yourself and who you are, your traits, and your being, it's meeting up with a planet that's so sensitive. So sensitivity is a part of who you really are, and a part of your body, and a part of the way that you respond. And when that's the case, you can pick up things that a lot of other people may not be able to pick up because you're so sensitive. So that's another indicator. The third indicator, this one I've also seen and noticed a lot. And for this one, I would recommend using various different house systems to check and see how it lands, especially whole signs as well. So this is when somebody has the ruler of their ascendant falling into the 8th house. Especially if the ruler of the ascendant that falls into the 8th house is a more sensitive planet, like the moon, Venus, it can be Neptune, it can even be Mars and the sun, just because they're so personal and easily impacted, Mars and the sun. So, meaning that if you are a Libra rising, a Cancer rising, a Taurus rising, an Aries rising, or Scorpio rising, Leo rising, I think that would be the main ones. And you have the planet that rules your rising sign, which means, so if you're a Libra or Taurus rising and Venus falls into the 8th house, or if you're a Cancer rising and the moon falls into the 8th house, if you're a Leo rising and the sun falls into the 8th house, if you are a Scorpio or Aries rising and Mars falls into the 8th house, that's going to be an alignment that's going to make somebody's physical body, first of all, quite sensitive, but at the same time, they're going to be sensitive to things that are beyond the veil, things of the other realms, things of the occult, things that may be of darker matter. Their body is psychically sensitive to that. Hope that kind of made sense. Oh, and actually this one is, I just couldn't resist, but I have to give it a fourth one, guys, because there is a fourth one and I just can't leave it out. So the fourth one in this case is going to be, and I've seen this, it's in theory, but it also, like I've seen it in people's charts, when they have the north and the south node in a square to the moon or Venus. There's something here about more of like that connection to a past life, or being able to feel and sense into that, because of the sensitive planets are coming into contact with the south node. Because if it squares the south node, it's going to be square to the north node as well. That's how it kind of works in astrology, right? So that kind of an alignment also leads to some psychic abilities. All right, and last but not least, I'm going to give you a human design gene key bonus of some of the gates that and the gene key that are theoretically more sensitive and psychic. And I couldn't find a channel that I really felt like, would work in this way, maybe just because I haven't really seen it happening in real life yet. So I'm going to go with the gates and the gene keys for this one. So the number one top first gene key that is the most psychic is gene key in human design gate 57. This is in the spleen, in the center of your intuition in human design, and it's Libra archetype. And it moves from the shadow of unease to intuition at the gift to clarity at the city. So you can imagine the level of sensitivity that is involved in gate 57. One of the most sensitive gates there could be, and it has this ability to just pick up more so in terms of sound. So being able to hear things that may not be from this particular realm is coming from gate 57, for example. And being able to pick up subtle things within other human beings is also a result of gate 57. The next gate and gene key that I have here is gate and gene key 19. That's one of the most, as well, sensitive gene keys that you can have. That's Aquarius energy, and that's located in the root. It's going from the shadow of codependence to the gift of sensitivity to the city of sacrifice. And this is someone who is going to very much be sensitive to all living things. So animals and nature and other human beings, you feel them all, you just consume them all in. And if you have gate 19 in your body graph somewhere, I would highly recommend spending more time in nature, or like at least for a certain part of your life or a certain part of period of your life, like just going veganism or vegetarianism, where you're not consuming animal meat, and see how your body responds to that. So food is one of the things that's the sensitive things of gate 19. Now we have another gate that's sort of psychic as well. There's two of them. They're both Scorpio energy. One of them is gate 44 and gene key 44. The other one I would think is the 43. They're a little bit different in a sense that the 44 is more psychic in terms of human beings. The 44 moves from the shadow of interference to the gift of teamwork to the city of synarchy. And this is really like that gate that can smell the intentions of other people. And it's also located in the spleen in human design. So it's so psychic about human behavior, what other people could be thinking, and what other people's motivations are, in a sense that it hits the person in their spleen. So it's in the body. If the body doesn't feel right, if the body doesn't feel good around somebody, it's gate 44 telling you that you should maybe stay away from certain people. You know, that's the kind of psychic of gate 44. And last but not least, the other Scorpio archetype is gate 43. That's located in the Ajna. And it moves from the shadow of deafness to the gift of insight to the city of epiphany, right? I mean, epiphany. And the kinds of psychic experiences, and this I have noticed so many times with people who have gate 43 in their chart, like prominently placed in their chart, is the moment they're on some kind of substance or drugs, they just get a hit that is so amazing that they can really like download some pretty interesting information about random stuff, like stuff that you wouldn't even expect. Like it's an epiphany, right? It just drops in. It can be about things of this world. Sometimes it's about like aliens and various other things like that. Or just some kind of random knowing that they just have that can definitely be useful in real life, that these people kind of realize the moment they're off the substance. It's like, oh, you know, that epiphany that I had when I was doing that substance, yeah, that's actually pretty useful because, you know, blah, 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 blah. So there's this inner, but even without any kind of substance, gate 43 gives you what I would say like claircognizance, just kind of like this inner knowing of certain things. But yes, that's going to be my top 4 plus bonus of list of psychic abilities. I really had fun doing this video, guys, and if you want to share and comment anything else, feel free, go ahead in the description box, in the comment box below. And before we finish off today, don't forget to head over to my renovated new website where you can meet your team of beautiful, amazing, talented astrologers there who'll be doing birth chart reading for you guys. So that's it, beautiful souls, and have a beautiful day. Bye.